Welcome to episode 198 of the Campus Comics Cast. And the weather outside may be frightful, but the comics inside are delightful. This is Scott Reed, and I'm joined on this episode by
Mike Atchison
and Chad Schubert.
And it is time for the December previews, next phase pre-orders for comics that are generally shipping in, what would that be, February, right?
Correct.
Yep.
Correct. All right. So I guess, does anybody have anything they want to shout out before we just dive into the next phase catalog?
Nope. 'Tis the season.
That's right.
All right. So Shad, I think said you were first up, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I've got a book in CEX. It's not a number one, but it caught my eye and I thought it was worth mentioning. There's a book called Planetary Expansion. I don't think that we talked about it when it first came out, but this is issue 5 of it. And the artwork grabbed me more than anything. I was like, oh, the artwork seems pretty decent. I like the coloring job is really good on it. It's a story about people chosen to repopulate a new Earth, or moving people from our Earth that's dying to a new one in a different solar system. And it made me go, oh, well, maybe I'll go check this out. I like the concept is something we've heard 100 times, but I like the artwork, and it might be something to grab. And I don't know, maybe it wasn't. I'm interested to go back and see what issue 1 is solicited like, because I feel like I would have grabbed onto this earlier.
I looked at those preview pages and I got really, really confused, because you look at that first preview page and it looks like it's blood smeared on the wall.
It does look like blood, yeah.
Okay, and then you go down to the second page and there it looks more like it's motion lines following him. And then on the third page, he just seems way too relaxed for it to have been blood on the walls.
Right.
So I was like, it
can't be.
I was so confused there. But yeah, I vaguely remember Mike mentioning this book whenever the first issue, but maybe he didn't. I don't know. I thought we had mentioned it before, but
maybe, yeah.
But you are correct.
It seems like I did. I wish I could remember or could be as confident in my memory. But I'm not. But it did, like you, Shad. I was like, oh, this does look good. And maybe I'm just recalling my thoughts when I seen that first issue.
Right.
And the art is pretty good. Any idea where it's like an exodus, from the planet Earth, and we're trying to find a way, where we can repopulate, colonize, whatever. It had that level of interest for me.
All right. So if I remember correctly, nobody has anything until DC, right?
Yep.
Correct.
So it is impressive that Zatanna, thanks DC for listening to our recent episode where we spotlighted Zatanna. Enough that you give her new series and put her on the cover of the Connect catalog. So you're welcome. But I don't have anything till page 50, which is also, by the way, Zatanna.
Wow. I've got page, what would it be, 4? I'm sorry. It's page 3, but it is Justice League Unlimited number 4. And I'm only bringing this up not because I'm showing any special interest into this particular issue, which again is written by Mark Waid and art by Dan Mora. I'm going to say something that is probably sacrilege among many groups of people these days, but I'm not totally sold on Dan Mora as an artist, especially an artist of many, many characters. That's just one issue I had with the first issue of Justice League Unlimited. I read it just this last couple of days, and I've had high hopes for it. The idea of, having this literally unlimited, well, not really literally, I guess there is a limit, but, a big roster. But at the same time, that made this issue 1 feel very impersonal. It felt very just plug and play, different characters. Like, hey, there's Shad. Let's put him in this scene. Right there with Scott. Shad Blue Beetle and
I'm sorry,
and
if you're reading a comic
Airwave
book that has Scott and Shad in it, you're going to be incredibly disappointed.
Not so super.
Yeah.
But it definitely, and it's moving at a pace where it's like you didn't even really get to see much about, well, my goodness, how much work went into building this gigantic satellite? How much, it just didn't really allow for much story development before we jump right into, like I said, plug and play heroes. And Dan Mora, there were a couple of pages where I think he is good. He's a fast artist, and he's not ever, that I know of, behind, but he is very good in many ways. But I just felt like there were some confusing scenes, and part of this is relativity, because I've been reading Wonder Woman with art by Daniel Sampere, and it just has been blowing me away. But anyway, that's my Scrooge review of Justice League Unlimited 1 by way of the solicitation of Justice League Unlimited 4.
So would you have wanted them to do like a 6-month event leading up to this? Is that what you're saying? Or just like an oversized one shot? Or what would you have liked to have seen?
Well, no, you just let the story build. You don't have to jump in. There's no rhyme or reason. It's just like all the heroes all the time. They all have places. They all have like living quarters on the satellite, but there's no really development of relation. Actually, the most you get out of that kind of stuff is if you read Black Lightning #1 and Question #1. There's more relationship building there. It's still not great because they don't have, at least Black Lightning didn't have a great artist. So again, it's just, I think it's like they're in such a rush to sell books, and they're just going to throw everything at it, and then plot or story development be damned.
So you're saying they went too all in on
Yeah.
all in?
Oh, yeah, they went over. They went over in. Yeah. At least on this. Maybe it'll get better. Who knows?
Anything else you want to talk about before Zatanna?
Has anybody been reading the absolutes of anything? I know we kind of briefly talked about Absolute Batman last time I was on.
I guess I need to read the Absolute Batman. I keep hearing from multiple people that it's really, really good. I've been avoiding it because to me it's just like the Ultimate Universe in Marvel.
Oh yeah.
It's like a same but slightly different in some shape, form, or fashion. So I never really did Ultimates. So that's kind of had the same feeling on Absolute. But if it's really good, I guess I should, give it a shot. So
I've got the first, the main three, Batman, Wonder Woman, Superman. I've got the first couple issues of each, and I'll read them. In fact, I have the Wonder Woman right here in front of me, but I haven't read anything yet. I really don't know if I have the bandwidth to get involved in an alternate universe with those characters.
Same. And I feel like, did they not announce that there were going to be more Absolute, like there was going to be an Absolute Flash and an Absolute Lantern?
There is. Yes.
And they haven't come out yet though, right? I'm curious if they've put a pause on releasing more than the Trinity at this point, maybe for performance reasons overall of the Absolute project.
If I knew going in that there were never going to be more than 3 Absolute titles every month, I might, have gotten into this a little bit more. But because of the fact of what you just said, and it could end up being 20 Absolutes, it's the same way with, like I said, Ultimates on the Marvel side. Yeah. If I knew there were going to be 4 or 3 titles, I could probably be in on it. But at this, with an uncertainty, plus I thought these were all limited series, but it looks like they're going to be ongoings. I guess they're selling well enough. So
I guess so, yeah.
I've got, the next thing I have is on page 6 of the DC catalog, or page 48 of the big one. And that's Wonder Woman 18. And again, it's not that I want to speak necessarily about Wonder Woman 18, but it's a way for me to speak to this title overall. I just finally got caught up on that entire first 15 issues by Tom King and Daniel Sampere. And other than the 3 crossovers with the What was that big event that just happened? I want to say Absolute, but that's not it either. It's the Amanda Waller.
Absolute Power?
Oh, Absolute Power. Yeah, it was Absolute. Yeah. So other than those 3 issues that were tie-ins that pretty much King had to do, and those were okay, but the rest of them are phenomenal. I am just, it's just, the art is exquisite. King's writing, sometimes it's not for everybody, but this one had me almost said all in. But I recommend anyone of any of the big 3, the Trinity characters with DC, I recommend going into some back issues and finding the Wonder Woman stories and either read them on the app or get back issues or something, because Sovereign is a villain you just love to hate. And it's now, some people might say, ooh, that's a little bit too close to home because of the politics of it, because it's basically it's insinuating or saying that the U.S. has been actually secretly governed by a king or a group of people that are sovereigns, and that democracy is just a puppet government. It's interesting, but there are some less than subtle things that King drops in there. So that in itself is kind of interesting. But I have to recommend Wonder Woman, and
I second your recommendation on Wonder Woman. I'm not as far into the series as you. There was the issue where they kind of he took a break from the main storyline and did like a birthday story, like for Superman. Yeah. That was the last one that I read, which was like 9, 10, something like that.
Right.
But it's been really, really good, and I need to catch back up on that. And it's got but though it does have the one fatal flaw.
I knew that.
Well, he ripped off the storyline from Marvel Siege for that. So, it's we talked about that when the first issue was solicited. So
yeah.
But it's been good. It's been worth reading. So it's really, really good.
There is no such thing as,
I know.
There's nothing new under the sun, is what Mark Twain said. Yeah. Now
let's talk about Zatanna. Written and drawn by Jamal Campbell. The one thing I'm going to say about this is it's nice to have of course, it's a 6-issue story. It's nice to have a new book where the entire universe isn't threatened. It's just her road crew goes missing and she has to save them. So it's, I think it's going to be a lot more character driven. So that gives me a little bit of hope for that series. So yeah, I might
say it's Zatanna's, instead of search for her father, it's the search for her road crew.
Exactly.
She's always just searching for people.
She's searching for something. Yeah.
In search of.
My next thing's on 19. Which is
let me
63.
Quick comment. This, as far as I know, this is the first thing Jamal Campbell has written as well as drawn. So I'm interested to see what his writing chops are like. I'm going to get it for sure, but if he's 3/4 or half the writer that he is an artist, I'd be okay with it.
My next thing's not till page 19 of the DC catalog. So you guys go to 19.
Chad, you got anything?
I don't think so. I'm using the next phase numbers. So no, I'm good.
So 63. So 63 next phase number is where I'm at. So okay.
I'm at page 10 and 54.
Go for it.
So it's Green Lantern Corps #1. And I mean, they've got really good creators on this. It's Jeremy Adams and Morgan Hampton. Although the co-writing always worries me if there's another name on there. Is how much is it going to be Jeremy Adams, who's proven himself? And then art is by Fernando Passarin, and I love his art. Eau Claire Albert is the inker, I suppose. It's because that person got co-art credits. But what's interesting, though, is not really a core that is interstellar or universal. It's basically all of the Earthbound Green Lanterns, everybody from Jessica Cruz to Joe Malin and John Stewart and Kyle Rayner and Guy Gardner, even Teen Lantern, who had some appearances in that Young Justice series. So I'm going to pick this up because I actually, concept I think I like would be better if it involved some of the alien Green Lanterns, but just because there's enough of them here on Earth, I guess it's worth checking these out too.
Shad, you want to give a spoiler for our next episode?
Oh yeah, we are going to be covering the John Stewart Green Lantern's first 5 appearances next issue or next episode.
So, hey, DC's reading our minds. So.
That's right.
Again.
I guess I always thought that there was only one Green Lantern on Earth at a time, but I guess that's not the case. I don't go deep on Green Lantern. They just so happen to all be on Earth for us.
They all just are from Earth, but they cover an entire sector, which is pretty big. I don't know exactly how big, but you figure there's 3,600 Green Lanterns. That's how many sectors there are in the universe now, of the known universe. So depending on how big the universe is, that tells you how big the sector is too.
Of course, is there 3,601 because in addition you have the far sector?
I guess you could say that, yeah. Plus one.
I just throwing that out there.
If you want to say that, you go ahead.
But yeah, no, there's been, like, I remember in the New 52, or was it New 52 or Rebirth Justice League, where you had Jessica Cruz and
Baz.
Yes, in the same book for Justice League.
I think it's Baz. Okay.
Yeah. Yes. So.
In fact, I thought there was another one that maybe it was just that's an alternate. Maybe that's like in a young adult. Isn't there an Asian Green Lantern that was in
like Cam Pho or something like that? He was in
Cambodian or Vietnamese or something. Yeah.
Yeah, he's not listed here, but
no.
But yeah. So there is definitely another one.
Interesting.
I'm good to like 37 of the DC catalog.
Okay, well, I'm on 19 of the DC catalog.
I think you're all good for me.
Okay, all right. So we have Batman and Robin issue number 19. I'm mentioning this because it looks like we have a potential new villain alert here with Memento. So written by, I don't know who the current crew is. I have like the first 13 issues of this series. I haven't read any of them yet. But I need to look up who the creative crew is on this one. But yeah, just pointing out a new villain in issue 18 of Batman and Robin.
Memento.
Page 21, we've got Challengers of the Unknown issue number 3. I didn't realize. I guess I either probably forgot. This was probably mentioned. I just forgot. Christopher Cantwell is writing that series. But Mike, the thing I thought might interest you says it has the return of a long missing individual from DC Comics past. Plus, we've got a new character named Optimum. So I don't know. Who do you think in Challengers history might show up in a book that hasn't been around for a long time? You want to guess? Put you on the spot.
Wow.
By the way, I don't know. So you can say whoever you want, and it won't matter. So. But just throw out an educated guess here for us.
Well, I don't know if these are even the original 4 plus 1 if you count June.
Yeah, plus. Well, and the Atom is in part of this crew.
And then you have to get the Atom, yeah. So I mean,
maybe the original Atom. Ooh, that'd be a good one.
Yeah, could be. Well, I'll delay this podcast.
There you go. You can think about it for a while. So.
Yeah, mull it over.
All right. So I'm done with DC. So whatever you guys have left in DC, go for it.
I've got 34, Mike.
Okay, go ahead.
On 34, as I was just scraping for DC things that were interesting to me, is the facsimile edition of the Sandman number 8, which is the death issue. So if you were ever trying to convince anybody to read a piece of comic book history that was, you could be like, comic books are literature, issue 8 of the Sandman is a perfect one shot to give someone, where Sandman is, where Dream is talking to his sister Death, and she's explaining how death works in the world in real life, and it's pretty fantastic.
It's a really good issue.
Yes, absolutely. And in that, just wanted to kind of bring up that there's no nice house by the sea in this DC Connect, which is, we got news last month that there was going to be a rollout of Vertigo returning, and that Nice House by the Sea would be the initial book, and they would rebrand and all that good stuff potentially. So I'm guessing that maybe we'll see that next month, and they're holding off on the whole Vertigo initiative. I was really looking forward to this catalog coming out and be like, all right, this is going to be Vertigo. This is going to come back and everything, and quietly was nothing whatsoever. And that's all I got for DC.
I just noticed Blue Devil was in that DC's Misfits of Magic story. I guess that's Dead Man, and I don't know who the girl is, though. Mike, that's on page 37. If you look at the art pages, maybe she's just a character. Ricky and Ross. So it's summer camp something. So she's probably just one of those characters.
That's the Enchantress, and that's Dr. Occult, and Blue Devil, and whoever's in that like Hawaiian shirt with the skull face. Okay. That's definitely Dr. Occult because he's got his disc.
Oh, okay. All right. See, I thought that was Dead Man. So.
Oh, the one in the back?
Yeah, the one in the Hawaiian shirt.
Oh, that could be. Yeah, that could be. Yeah, but I know the Enchantress based on the costume, and then Dr. Occult is the one with the trench coat.
I will defer to your expertise.
Such that it is.
All right. So what else do you have in DC, Mike?
I just had a couple more. One is the Detective Comics number 31 facsimile edition. This is that classic cover of very gothic looking cover with Batman overlooking the castle. And it's been homaged in several places. And it's just a well-known cover for Batman. Detective Comics number 31 facsimile edition. I believe Hugo Strange might be the villain in this. I'm guessing. So then on page, I guess it's 94. Is that possible? It's a toy. Oh yeah, it's the ad for the McFarlane Toys Batman Forever, and I just had to comment that these action figures are very detailed and very movie accurate. It's pretty amazing. Not that I was the movie was pretty bad, but it gave us the term bat nipples. But otherwise, I just want to say that it's nice to see a toy line to be that accurate.
It's my understanding though that you don't ever try to play with these toys; they will fall apart.
Oh, is that right?
Oh,
yes. They are more for the appearance than the playability. So,
gotcha.
But that's what I have been told. I've not purchased any. So, all right. I don't have anything until Image on page 147.
Okay.
I've got one on 96.
I've got one.
So you're first, Shad.
Yeah. All right. This is Holy Lacrimony, which is the cover of Next Phase. It's coming out of Drawn and Quarterly, written and drawn by Michael DeForge. I don't know anything about this guy, but the preview pages for this book was like, all right, this is weird, and I really like it. It's described as a post-alien abduction trauma memoir. And if you read through the preview pages in the Next Phase catalog, which there's 6 or 7 or 8, maybe 10 or 12 pages of it, that's what it seems like. It is absolutely an alien abduction trauma book, and it is quite wild because it kind of goes through this alien interaction with the person and what they're going to do to them, and it reads really smooth and is just... I don't know how to explain it except for it's weird, and I like it.
You like weird?
I like weird. And I'm not till 139 in Image.
You're ahead of me still.
All right.
130 for me.
Go for it.
So you're up, Mike.
Bug Wars. It's I think the first thing in the Image catalog, and it's by Jason Aaron. It's issue 1 of a 6-issue series. Art by Mahmoud Asrar. And the solicit is, the description is, it's this guy named Slade, Slade Slaymaker, if that's not enough of a, on the top of on the nose type name. He's a kid from Alabama, suddenly lost in a vicious world beyond his imagining. Basically, it's in a miniature world. The way it sounds like Power of the Atom, where he's, they ride beetles and spiders and all kinds of cool stuff. But it's the art that really got me. They did well in showing off the art in the subsequent pages, and so yeah, I'm going to be picking this up. It just looks fantastic.
I just have to comment that they black out all of the cuss words in this previews.
Yeah.
But they have multiple images of topless bug girls and full frontal nude male bug guy. So yeah. But let's cover up the cuss words.
Somebody well, I thought you were going to talk about something else, because in the Diamond catalog previews, there were some like, wait a second, should be like, that would be one of those half page deals.
They did that in a Diamond as well.
Oh my goodness. But yeah, that's what I had for Image.
Okay, so Shad, you had 140, 139?
139, yeah. It's a one-shot called Stay Out of the Woods, written by Joe Pruitt and art by Butch Geiss. And this is it's a mix between Tom Sawyer, Pan's Labyrinth, and It. And it very much is like an It story. It's a town has this nightmarish terror that's kind of returns, and it's this ancient forest entity, and these kids go out in the woods and they go to try to face their fears and everything. But the cover looks really cool. There's not any interiors in the preview here, but that cover is killer, and it's the same artist doing the interiors, and so I think for a one shot it could be a pretty neat story depending on how they handle it with 48 pages.
So do you think they're trying to play off a distillery since they're releasing this as a magazine size?
Oh, I hope not. I hope there's not any. They're not just gonna have a whole line of magazine size things. Because I'll probably be buying it digital. It's not gonna bother me that way.
Yeah.
But I can't stand trying to store those magazine size.
Oh, trust me, I know. Anything before 147?
Nope.
All right, so in this catalog and in the Diamond and Marvel books, we get some information about the free comic book day books, which this is the earliest that I remember seeing this. But from Image, we're getting the Energon Universe. Then we're also getting I Hate Fairyland Once Upon a Time and Transformers Worst Bot Ever. So we're going to get 3 free comic book day books from Image coming up in May.
Good.
Apparently May 3rd. I'm on to Oni Press on page 208. So
I have one last. I got 170 on Image.
All right.
Is that okay? This is just it's a title I've often I've always thought I'd like to read but never did. East of West, and this is a compendium trade paperback. It's East of West End Times, and it is of course by Hickman and Dragotta, and it's collects East of West issues 1 through 45. So it's a pretty good chunk.
800 pages.
Yeah, 800 pages for $60 before discount.
I've heard a lot of good things about East of West.
Okay. That's it for me in Image.
You guys both going to buy the Rob Liefeld Vault edition of Youngblood?
I'm gonna get 2 copies. Yeah.
Top of my list.
That's my investment pick.
All right, I'm still not to 208. So
208. Go for it on my end.
188 for me, which is Mad Cave Studios, and this is a title I've been picking up. Dick Tracy. I've been getting it for the first 4 or 5 issues, I think. But this is a special. It is called Dick Tracy Valentine's Day Special. And of all of these Mad Cave books that have been coming out, and there have been several, Dick Tracy's probably the one I would recommend first. It just seems to be a cut above. There's other ones that are pretty good, but this one I definitely give it 2 thumbs up.
Who's the writer on that?
This one is Alex Segura, Michael Morici, and Steve Orlando.
Oh, so it has multiple writers on each issue.
I guess. I mean, Alex Segura. Well, Alex Segura, I think, is the main writer. This particular special probably has 3 stories with 3 different writers, would be my guess. And I have one more in Mad Cave, which is Hop Kill, because it's a Jimmy Palmiotti book. And then I got to looking, and I'm thinking this might be one of those, because one of the covers is explicit variant. So I'm thinking this is going to be, one of those gun honey type deals. But I've already committed to, I wrote it down, so now I'm going to talk about it.
Already committed to it.
Yeah, Pop Kill number 1. It's basically imagine a world where the 2 dominant and competing cola companies, I can't imagine what companies those would be, each worth billions, are owned by former Siamese twins, which is not an appropriate term anymore. It's supposed to be conjoined, who are now separated and have grown to hate each other so much they hire assassins, saboteurs, and espionage personnel to meddle with each other on a daily basis. I love those kind of, I used to listen to a podcast called Business Wars, and they would tell stories about the competitiveness of competing companies, basically, like DC and Marvel, Coca-Cola and Pepsi, you name it. There's and so I kind of like that premise. I'm not sure how sophisticated this will be, or if it'll just be, guns blazing and
the follow-up series is going to put left Twix versus right Twix, I'm sure. So.
Yeah, I had this one flagged too. I thought it was just a fun fictional. At first, I thought it was like based on true stuff, and then when I saw the conjoined twins thing, I was like, oh, I don't think that's how Pepsi and Cola and Coke started. But yeah, I like the premise of it. I think it'll be if nothing else, it'll be a fun 4-issue thing, especially with Palmiotti having something to do with the creator side of it.
208.
Okay.
All right, so this is from Oni Press. Mine is A Long, Lonesome Grave. This is the first of a 4-issue series written by Justin Jordan, art by Chris Sheehan. And basically it tells the story of an ex-con who is released after spending some time in jail for some violent crimes, but apparently somebody back in his hometown does not like the idea of him being released, so puts a hex on him. So the only way he can break the hex is to figure out who hexed him and kill that person. So he has to unleash a lot of death to ultimately find out who his unseen enemy is. So I don't know, kind of an interesting premise, first issue. So I thought I would throw it out there from Oni Press.
I had it marked as well. I mean,
me too.
I wasn't sure if I was going to bring it up, but I had it marked to maybe get. Justin Jordan, he's a good writer. He's written a couple things that I've liked. But yeah, and Sheehan, definitely from House of Slaughter. I liked his art.
Yeah, I like the concept. I was in on this one too.
Anything additional to add on it?
No,
okay.
I believe.
I'm on 218 then.
I'm done with this book.
Oh, wow. Okay. This is my last thing in this book. So, Mike, you got anything for 218?
No, I'm done with this book as well.
Oh, well, Mike, I'm disappointed you missed this one. Okay. So, on page 218, you have May, the definitive edition. This is a soft cover.
I've seen it. Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah.
By Gene Ha. I know you're a Gene Ha fan. So, I've not seen this. I've not seen this series printed previously. So, as long as we've been doing previews, maybe it's been and I just have missed it or not remembered it. But I know this is like one of his pet creator owned projects for Gene Ha. So.
And I did pause, but the reason I didn't put it on my list to speak on was my embarrassment that I bought it from him years ago and have yet to read it.
Oh,
and
okay.
it's signed by him. It's a trade, so I'm sure it's also collecting that all 12 issues of the series. So it's the same as this, just repackaged here. But I was like, well, what can I say except I haven't read it. But I'm not going to get it because I haven't. So
right, okay, all right, acceptable. I'll accept that answer. Okay, so we're done with next phase then, correct?
Yep.
All right. So on to Marvel, which I have yet to open, but we have the event for coming up is going to be what was it called? One World Under Doom, and we're going to get, it looks like, a couple of different Doctor Doom series. The first being Rise of Emperor Doom. So that's the 1st. It doesn't say that it's a limited series, but I can't imagine that it's not a limited series. I feel like it almost has to be. But unless I just missed it someplace, that I missed that it's a limited series in the soliciting
Not
place?
that I saw.
Okay, all right.
But the
So
art is just fantastic. I mean, and that's Silva, right? They say, or RB Silva, something like that.
yes.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just looking at the, the sample art, it's really, it put some top-notch art onto this, so it makes me want to get it.
Yeah, it's a good thing that they're leaning into this now. Catch some of the energy from the San Diego
Mhm.
Comic-Con announcements.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
And then on page 8, you have Doom Academy. This one is a 5-issue series, and it's basically the second year of Strange Academy. So I think you're going to have apparently a lot of the same characters from Strange Academy showing up here in Doom Academy, but basically the school gets moved to Latveria. And of course, that will probably entail the introduction of some new characters here in Doom Academy #1.
So they swapped out their robes for Doom green ones.
Yeah.
Cloaks.
My next thing's on 12.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, so we have Red Hulk #1, once again leaning into the MCU, since Red Hulk is going to be featured in Captain America New World Order, which I think is coming out in March. Red Hulk gets his own series, but it's apparently also tied into the One World Under Doom because Red Hulk is a prisoner of Doctor Doom in this series.
So who is Red Hulk?
So Red Hulk is Thunderbolt Ross. Whenever he basically discovered a form of the Gamma to basically combat the Incredible Hulk. When he was introduced, everybody thought that Thunderbolt Ross was dead, but he was alive and kicking and was running around as the Red Hulk. Okay. So he basically has the Hulk's strength with Ross's military planning and intelligence.
And his flat top haircut.
So like they really leaned into that there was like just a series titled Hulk, which is where he made his first appearance, and like he goes up against Thor, and since he can't lift Thor's hammer, what he does to get around that is he just grabs Thor's hand while he's holding the hammer so he can beat Thor with it.
Makes sense.
So it's just one of those little, trying to play into that, strategic mind type of a thing.
Mm-hmm.
A Thor hack.
There you go. Yep. Page 14 is my next thing, though I suspect Mike might mention this one.
No, I'm not until 29.
Oh, okay. But all right. So page 14, you have a new X-Men book, Weapon X-Men. It's a 5-issue series written by Joe Casey, art by Chris Cross. So basically you have a lot of the members of the Weapon X program forming an X team.
Including Thunderbird.
That is correct. Thunderbird 2.
Oh.
And
okay.
Let's see. There was a better picture of him here. Yeah. So Deadpool, Cable. I just forgot this guy's name.
Chamber.
The Chamber. Okay. Oh, does it list their name someplace?
List. Yeah, because I wouldn't know it. No.
But he's got I'm trying to remember like his regular name, but oh well, it doesn't matter. Okay. So yeah, there's another X book. I just remember from when the what was it? Excellent X-Men or Extreme X-Men, you were going to pick that up, Mike. So I'd like to add this to your, collecting a whole series of X-Men.
Yeah, I paused and looked it over. It's got the nice Alex Ross cover. I guess that's the cover, but I don't know. Maybe.
Page 22. So we've got Captain America and Volstagg. This is the second in the J. Michael Straczynski Marvel Brave and the Bold run, which I'm going to always refer to it as that. We have the team up of Captain America and Volstagg. And I don't think we've seen Volstagg since the now mentioned this episode second time Siege series. So this is another odd combination because the first month was Doom and Rocket Raccoon. Mm-hmm. So now we get Captain America and Volstagg. So
I'm just surprised there's no like overarching title over these.
They, at least this time, they kind of are more specific in that this is going to be a second in a series of one shots. I don't know that they were explicit in that the first month, but now they are very explicit that yes, this is going to be a series of one shots. So
it's like Bernard Chang's doing the art.
Then 24.
Oh, Chad had something to say.
In the middle of that, on the next page, is the Sam Wilson Captain America #2 now fighting the Red Hulk. Also a tie-in, obviously, to the New World Order Captain America movie that's coming out. I feel like they're figuring out how to release books in things that are coming out. There was also earlier on was the Thunderbolts Doomstrike book. And it's like, okay, Thunderbolts, we got Doom, we got Red Hulk. All right, we're finally figuring out how to release comic books in tandem with.
So those two people who see the movie and want to go to a comic book shop, they don't have to say, we don't have anything on the shelf.
Right, exactly.
Page 24, we have New Champions #2. I mentioned this for two reasons. One, they do hint at some new characters here in New Champions #2. So that's one reason to pick it up. The other reason is that New Champions 1, which was solicited in last month's catalog, actually had an October pre-order date. So I went to order it and couldn't get it because I was past the order date on New Champions #1. So if you see this on the shelf and you were hoping to pre-order it and you missed it, you had to kind of hope you're in good with your comic shop and they have an extra issue for you on the shelves because this was not in the regular order time frame that I was expecting. So which was unfortunate. Then I don't go till 77.
I'm at page 29, and it's the latest in the Timeless. I don't know. It's just a Timeless is sort of a theme or a book that comes out once a year, either a book or either a one shot or a mini series, I think. But this one's Power Man Timeless. Am I off the mark on that at all, Scott? Isn't that something they're just doing?
It's been just one shots here and there. I think it really kind of started after the Loki series with a TVA.
Yeah.
But they had that Kang Timeless, and then they've done a couple other Timeless books since then.
And I really enjoyed the Kang Timeless. So this caught my eye. It's got Colin Kelly and Jackson Lansing as the writers, Bernard Chang on the art, and nice cover art, but it's a character I know very little about, and that's Power Man. So I'd be interested to see what the story about Luke Cage is. It's he's from the future, and looks like there's other co-stars. Just got the Hulk, and you've got Iron Fist, and who is the long blonde haired guy there on the cover?
Oh, what page is it on? I'll have to.
Page 29, 28, 29.
I already was scrolling down to 77.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
So I know it's got
Sentry.
Sentry, yeah. So Sentry, okay. Iron Fist, and Hulk, yes.
Okay.
I'll just go ahead and tell you that version of Power Man will be nothing like the Power Man you see now.
Oh yeah.
Because this version of Power Man has the Void in him, which is the entity that gives Sentry strength, plus Iron Man's Iron Fist. And the Hulk's strength, so he's gamma irradiated, I assume. I haven't actually read it. Yeah, gamma powered, iron fisted Sentry from the future Luke Cage. So yeah.
Okay.
They just take it all, throw it against the wall, and see what sticks. So
right. Yes. I'm good till 52. What did you say you were at?
I'm at 77.
And I'm in the 70s also.
Okay, let me buzz down here to 52. This is Women of Marvel She-Devils. Now, in the last couple months between our episodes, when I was doing my own random reading and following my own urges to read certain things, I got on this Jungle Comics kick. and including like Rima the Jungle Girl and Sheena and everything from the Golden Age to the Bronze Age to the Modern Age. And then when I seen this Women of Marvel, She-Devils by Stephanie Phillips, by the way, who I like as a writer, is they're talking about Shayna or Shanna, the She-Devil, as the main character, which I don't know anything about her, but hey, she's got a leopard skin outfit on with, it looks like some sort of teeth bracelet or belt or something. And she's got a panther by her side. So I'm all in. Not to steal from another company. I mean, seriously, I got on this kick where I was buying stuff to fill, like the Rima the Jungle Girl. I was buying from my comic shop. Yeah, but I was missing one issue. I'm like, oh, I got to get it. So.
Kazar is Shauna's significant other, just if you weren't aware of that.
I kind of was thinking that, but I didn't want to say it and be wrong. All right.
Anything else before the 70s, Mike?
No, I'm up in the 80s now.
All right. So, Shad, I think you're up till 77. Yep.
Yes, 74 is mine. Nobody else is asking for this. I mean, evidently somebody is, but this is Star Wars Rise of the Skywalker adaptation number 1. Finally, as someone who has collected every single movie adaptation since the beginning of the movie adaptations being collected, the fact that there was an empty spot where Rise of the Skywalker was drove me absolutely insane. And to know that I don't even care if it's good. I just need it on the shelf just so that it's done and over with. So I'm thankful for it. There is also a lot of really cool deleted scenes that were in the novelization version of this, and if they were to include any of those, which they have sometimes include some of that stuff, this could actually be a pretty cool thing and be a reason to like Rise of Skywalker, because I think the story is much better in the novelization than it is in the movie.
77 to 81, we've got the Marvel Free Comic Book Days books. So there's a issue of Star Wars. We've got Star Wars number 1. We've got a Fantastic Four X-Men Free Comic Book Day book. We've got an Amazing Spider-Man along with Ultimate Universe number 1 free comic book day. Then there's an definitely oriented for kids, a Iron Man's Awesome Friends along with Spidey and His Amazing Friends book. And finally, a Marvel Voices book, which is going to be featuring Ironheart, which is a good one since we got the Ironheart series coming to Disney Plus sometime in 2025. And my last thing is on 111. So.
And I'm done in the book.
Okay. Mike? What else you got?
I have something, but I accidentally closed out the actual window. So feel free to.
What page was it on? I'll tell you. I'll talk about it.
I was on page. It was the Marvel Premiere Collection. And I just wanted to mention that this is on pages 86 through 88.
Oh,
you've got, or 89, 86 through 89. You got Cap, the Winter Soldier. You got Black Panther, Nation Under
Our Feet.
Under Our Feet, yeah. And then Daredevil, Born Again. And it's just a repackaging, I think, of these classic storylines, which looks pretty good. Looks good. I don't know if they are they hardcovers.
Let's see. It does not say there. Written, penciled, trim size. Why can't I find it? Collection. At the price point, I'm going to say they're soft covers because the Winter Soldier is only $14.99. I can't imagine that it would be a hardcover for $14.99.
Yeah, it just it caught my attention. I've read Winter Soldier. I can't say I've read the one, A Nation Under Our Feet. I haven't read that, but I've read Born Again. But it just seems like a good place to get them.
Yeah, I think the Captain America Winter Soldier and Daredevil Born Again belong here. I'm not convinced yet that the Black Panther, Nation Under Our Feet, and the Fantastic Four Solve Everything stories belong here.
Yeah.
I enjoyed reading those, but they are not to the level of classic, at least to me, that Born Again and Winter Soldier are. So.
Right.
But that's just me. So.
Okay.
111. Did you have anything else, Mike?
No, I'm good.
Okay, so 111, we're getting the trade epic collection of ROM the Space Knight. So let's milk that temporary license to print ROM for as much as we can while we can. So now we're getting the softcover edition. It looks like they're going to have to be 4 of these because this volume only covers the first 20 issues, and since that series is 75 issues plus 4 annuals, they're probably not going to be able to, unless they're just going to do one that's longer, which doesn't make a lot of sense. So I expect this to be 4 volumes of ROM the Space Knight. And for some reason, I think the Epic collections are black and white. It doesn't say black and white anyplace, but I was just thinking that they were, and I could be wrong. I don't really buy the Epic collections, but because it's ROM, I had to mention it. So, all right, so everybody's done with Marvel then?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, so let's see. Top of previews, we've got what? Boom. Who's got anything for Boom?
I got a Boom. There's a book called Bronze Faces. That was, I think, maybe even on the cover. But it is a perfect for fans of the many deaths of Layla Starr, which we read and I enjoyed quite a bit. But it is, I honestly don't remember why I flagged it. Now that I'm looking at it,
first issue, right?
It's a first issue. It had some horror kind of. Jordan Peele was also mentioned in it. The design of the mask looks kind of cool. I think that's why.
Yeah, I did look at this. I marked it as well. It's basically it's 3 young guys from Nigeria. They were Nigerian descent. They're living in Soho, London, and it's got something to do with. I thought it was more of like a kind of movie do you call that? Where they do a heist type film because they're going into the London Museum to steal a piece of work that one of them's father actually drew or painted. It was a piece of artwork, and they're going in there to steal it back because it's basically cultural theft, and it's in line with the coming out in February with Black History Month. So,
okay, yeah, that makes sense.
So it'll be interesting because it is going to have that very, very distinct. It's going to be from the viewpoint of characters and creators that are Nigerian or I might be misspeaking here, but I think I read that. So I think it'll be worth getting. Yep. Yeah.
That makes sense. And yeah, I think it. I also liked I can't remember. There's some other stories, maybe in like movie form or TV form, where there's a lot of stealing from and returning back to where they belong, kind of being a theme lately, and this kind of falls in line with that.
Yes, absolutely. Yep.
I'm gonna back up just a little bit under Image, and because we're on Diamond now, they have their gems of the month. So the first gem of the month is Bug Wars #1. Mike, I think you mentioned this when we were going through the Next Phase catalog.
Yeah.
So quick thumbs up, thumbs down. Who's ordering this?
Thumbs down.
Thumbs up for Mike, because it's an audio podcast and nobody can hear your thumbs up. And I'm gonna go thumbs down as well.
I can mute my screen.
There you go. Mute your screen along with muting your voice. All right. The second one from Image is Stay Out of the Woods. Shad, you mentioned this one. Thumbs up, thumbs down.
Thumbs up.
Down.
Thumbs down. Okay, I think Shad can
to
go thumbs up on this one. So I'm gonna go thumbs up on this one. Mike, Shad, you just mentioned Bronze Faces, right? #1 from Boom Studios. So thumbs up, thumbs down.
I think I got it in the middle. It's a middle thumb.
I'm leaning towards going thumbs up on this one just to give it a shot. Mike, what about you?
Thumbs up.
Thumbs up. All right, good deal. So, and then the next one from Boom, Graveyard Club Fresh Blood #1, gem of the month. Chad?
I'm gonna go thumbs down. I haven't really grabbed onto any of the Graveyard Club stuff.
I'm going thumbs down as well. All right, so 3 thumbs down. It's okay. All right. So anything else from Boom for anybody?
Nope.
Actually, I have one more thing because they have their free comic book day books. and I have to find them. They have a 20th anniversary book and a Power Rangers book. So Power Rangers VR Troopers and Boom Studios 25th anniversary. All right, what's next? Dynamite.
Dynamite.
Or Titan, is it?
I flagged new Darkwing Duck.
It is Titan. Sorry.
Oh.
Is it Titan? Yes, it is Titan. No, I don't know. Yes,
in the book, it's in the book. Dynamite's next, but
okay, all right. So, go ahead and talk about Dynamite.
Dynamite. All I had flagged was the new Darkwing Duck book. They're giving us a new #1. I like the art better on this. It seems a little rougher, not as clean lined. Almost feels more like the comics did in the old Disney Afternoon books back when I was a kid. So I like it. I'm probably honestly not going to pick it up. I might read it in a collected trade movie, but I like that they're keeping it going.
It is also a gem of the month from Diamond, so you're going thumbs up, obviously. If you
thumbs up,
yeah, I'm gonna go thumbs down. I'm not a huge Darkwing Duck guy. Mike, what about you?
Yeah, thumbs down for me.
Yeah, okay.
He's just saying it because it's me.
No, I matched you on one of them.
Also from Dynamite, also a gem of the month is Herculoids #1. So this is a new series based on the 70s animated series. I don't know what happened. DC had the license for these characters because they did like those. They like teamed them up. Yeah, the crossover thing. There was they had like Johnny Quest and Herculoids and Space Ghost
and Scooby-Doo and
all the. I guess this is Hanna-Barbera, so I'm surprised to see this over here at Dynamite. I'm not so in love with it that I'm probably going to order this, but I did think it was interesting just because it is kind of tugging on me a little bit. It's as a something I used to watch on Saturday mornings. So so even though I'm talking about it, I'm going to go thumbs down because I'm probably not ordering it. Either of you give it anything besides a thumbs down?
The covers are really cool, but I'm gonna go thumbs down on it.
Yeah, I'm the same. I did have it marked because I did try the Space Ghost, which that's all kind of like in the same universe, right? And it's based in outer space, and you got characters. I don't know. It kind of like you said, it kind of tugged at me, but I don't know that it's not enough for me to spend the $5. I don't think.
Okay. I guess nobody had anything from Titan.
I did.
Oh, okay. Let's go back to Titan then.
And what I had was, it's also a gem of the month, Loose End #1, an homage to classic '90s crime drama movies. And I only picked it up because, I felt bad for Titan. I just don't really ever pick anything from Titan. And even though I kind of earmarked it, it's a thumbs down for me.
I'll go thumbs down as well as far as
the
gem of the month. Yeah. And the other gem of the month from Titan, this is I guess they're so desperate for gems of the month. The Savage Sword of Conan Omnibus Volume 11. I can't imagine.
Yeah, what the heck? How is that a gem of the month?
How's that a gem?
So odd.
They could have done one of the Elric books, but no, Volume 11. So yeah, that's a thumbs down for me. Just throwing that out there.
Crazy.
And I think that's all the gems of the month. That was 8. All right, so we got through all the gems of the month. Okay, so what else do we have? I guess we can round robin everything else. I only think I have one. No, I have one thing. I think
I have 2.
Okay.
I've got 2.
All right, so you guys go first, and then I'll do my one.
You ready, Shed?
Yeah, my first one is out of IDW. I don't ever get really into the Godzilla of it all, but the Mothra Queen of the Monsters #1. The cover looks so cool that I kind of want to check this out. I don't, unlike Godzilla, who I feel like you've seen 12 different versions of it every time you turn around. There's not a lot of Mothra that exists, it doesn't seem like, and so going in completely cold, it might be fun to check out this Mothra book.
Mm-hmm. From the well-known publisher Z2 Comics, we have Blondie Against the Odds hardcover. Now, you might wonder if this is Dagwood's Blondie or Blondie from the Dagwood comic strip, but you'd be wrong. Deborah Harry, yes,
Okay.
the band. So it says combining an imaginative take on an oral history of the band interspersed with artistic interpretations of 10 songs from their catalog. Now, I'm a big fan of Blondie, and it was one of my top 10 bands, I would say. And Palmiotti, Amanda Connor, they're John McCrae, they're all great creators. This is $40, but man, I just can't even imagine not getting this. And I thought of you, Shad, because you're a musician. When I seen this, I didn't know if you've seen it or not.
I
I
did.
can
I don't know
100%
much about Blondie though.
Yeah, I can
Oh, really?
100% see Amanda Connor drawing Blondie. That
Yeah. I actually bought an album that's the one that had the Rapture song, the kind of like almost like a rap song.
Mhm.
I think it was Americana or American something, but I bought it at a secondhand album store there in Great Britain, in the UK, and I was able to pad it with all my clothing and keep it from getting smashed. I was like, I don't
And
want
now
this to
he
break.
only eats guitars.
Yes, right. Mercuries and Subarus. Oh yeah, I can't believe you don't know. I mean, that is some great early punk stuff. Not early,
Okay.
but somewhat early. You definitely need to grab a couple of albums and Parallel Lines might be her biggest album.
And
Okay.
I'm probably wrong in saying this, but I believe that Rapture was the first top 40 song that included a rap in it.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That just is in my brain.
That might be.
May or may
It's
not be true.
something first about it, and it may not
Yeah.
even have been called rap back then because this is pre Run DMC and Beastie Boys. Anyway, that was my pick, and I am getting it.
All right.
And then I'm going to read it to you guys.
Okay. All right.
Perfect.
Just in a rap voice, though.
I stumble over my own words when I'm not rapping.
We can feed it through AI.
There you go.
Sample Blondie rapping and then feed it through and read the book as a rap AI wise. All right. So my one thing is actually going to take me a minute to get through because it's under merchandise and it is the balance of the free comic book day books that we have. I'll talk about several of them. So you got Archie, a 2000 AD. The one that I'm probably most excited about is there's a Black Mirror free comic book day book. I'm not sure who the publisher is, but I will 100%. Twisted Comics. Mm-hmm. So that, of course, is based off of the Netflix series. Another one that I thought was interesting was a Mark Spears Monsters issue number 0 from Keen Spot. And, of course, Mark Spears was the guest at my show back in 2023. I had to think about what year it was. But there are 33 different free comic book day books listed here. So be sure and check out the Previews World site because I don't think it's good podcasting just to sit here and listen to me read off all these titles. Shad, back to you.
Back to me. All right. My last one is from Sumerian Press. It is We Only Go Out When It Gets Dark. This is by Damian Connolly. Damian Connolly has done like all of the they're all dark books. It's You Promise Me Darkness, Follow Me Into the Darkness. And this is a one shot that is an introduction to his new horror world. It's 3 different stories that kind of set everything up for it, and I am definitely for it. I really enjoy his artwork, and writing's not too bad either.
Before I go to my next one, I do want to go back to the Blondie book, and I knew there. Okay, so I thought maybe I sent this to you, Shad, but maybe I sent it to Tyler because he likes those mashup songs.
Oh,
where you got 2 different artists. And so you've heard of the Doors, Riders on the Storm?
Yeah.
Riders on the, and so there is a mashup between Rapture and Riders on the Storm called Rapture Riders. So look it up, just Google it, and you'll see the video. And it is so cool. It's just cool, man. So
all right.
Yeah. But anyway, my last thing is Alter Ego number 193. And it's not really covering any one creator. It's basically all the artists that sort of followed in Joe Shuster's steps as artists, who sort of wanted, they kind of fell in line with that style. You got the Wayne Borings, you got the Fred Rays, Win Mortimer, and it's just covering all of those artists and the work they did on Superman after Joe Shuster. So that seems like an interesting topic for me.
Mm-hmm.
And Wikipedia, according to Wikipedia, which of course cannot be wrong, Rapture was the first #1 single in the United States to feature rap vocals. The single also peaked at number 3 in Canada and number 5 in Australia and the UK. So
yeah, it was. I think that album, whatever it was called, American something, but it had "Call Me" on it as well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And had Rapture. The first album,
it's outstanding. I mean, this was right at the time where I was starting to buy 45s. I was buying 45s. So this was one of the first 5 or 10 45s that I ever purchased was Rapture.
I remember playing those 45s, and then one of my siblings lost the little adapter. I'm like, dude, I can't play my 45s.
And of course, everybody likes to play the 45s at the wrong speed,
Right.
Yeah, because you had the 33 and the 45s, and you play at the wrong speed. Yeah, okay.
And you got 78s, the old
I'm
ones.
I'm old. Okay. All right, so what's everybody looking forward to? I'll go first, not to put you guys on the spot. I'm going to be a broken record, from last month. And I'm going to go Captain America and Volstagg. It's the second in that Brave and the Bold series from Marvel. So JMS, I'm hoping it's something good, a little bit better than what we got from the Captain America series, which wasn't bad, but just not great. So that's what I'm kind of looking forward to. Shad, what about you?
I blew it up for no reason at all, and I'm still excited for it. The Star Wars Rise of the Skywalker adaptation #1.
Just to fill that empty slot in the show.
Absolutely. Right? Okay, sometimes that's all you need, right?
That's right. Yeah.
And this really doesn't make sense because I didn't talk about it because I actually forgot. I just skipped over it on the list. But Redcoat #10. It's a new storyline, and I've really enjoyed Redcoat, and it's it falls under that Ghost Machine line with Jeff Johns, and I think you've got Brian Hitch do the art on that. Yeah, Brian Hitch, and I'm looking forward to that the most.
Shad, what do you got for an investment pick? You got anything?
I did not pick anything. There was nothing that I felt was worth leading anybody astray on.
Mike, what about you? Anything you want to throw out there?
I shamelessly stole your idea of Batman and Robin and Memento.
Yeah, I didn't notice you writing that down as I was talking about it, so.
New character alert.
Oh my God, I must have skimmed right over it. Yeah.
He's in.
Batman and Robin #19, yeah.
Okay.
Or no, right. Batman and Robin, whatever issue is
18,
on page 19.
18.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I'll just go ahead. I don't think I would really honestly recommend these two as investment picks, but just because you've got some new characters, it's the generic answer. Doom Academy #1, that Strange Academy #1 really, really took off for some reason or another. So now with this being the second volume of Strange Academy, I can't imagine it's going to be anything like the first volume, but you never know sometimes. So follow that up with New Champions #2, which also should feature some new characters in it as well. So, all right. So, Shad, what do we have coming up in episode 199?
Well, we've already talked about our first 5 of John Stewart Green Lantern, and then we're also going to be covering what we've been reading, along with some trivia. We're going to do a CLZ shake, all the good stuff.
All right. And if somebody wanted to reach out to you, Shad, how would they do that?
You can hit me up on shadschubert.com. That's SHAADSCHUBERT.com.
All right, Mike, what about you?
You can get me on Blue Sky on Mike's Comic Shop Roadshow. You can get me on the Campus Comics Cast Facebook page. You can drop a comment anywhere in there. And then I've got an email address of mike@comicshoproadshow.com.
I'm Scott. And I'm Scott Reed. You can find me at burgcomics.com, BURGcomics.com, with links to my social media pages and eBay store. And we'll be back soon.
you want to do, I'm fine with that. I'm good with, I agree with Sergeant Rock being difficult, although it'd be kind of cool and be different. I like the idea of a penguin. But I also like the idea of a Green Lantern. I don't want to do Kyle. You also like the idea of Power Girl, and you also like the idea of Elongated Man, and you also like the idea of Supergirl. And insert any DC character and in front of that. You also like the idea of... That's not true. I didn't. I said I understand Sergeant Rock. And you said this one has to be DC Comics, so... Or it's its turn. And no, I did not say that about Power Girl. Oh, okay. I made that up. Oh. Yeah. But I assumed that you would have been okay with Power Girl doing Power Girl. I'm good with any of them except... Point proven.